Welcome to 50 Random Facts to Blow Your Mind. Take a seat and let's dive in. Number 1. About 700 grapes go into one bottle of wine. It takes around 700 grapes to make a single bottle of wine, which equates to approximately 2.6 pounds of fruit. This number can vary depending on the grape variety and how the wine is made. Vineyards carefully select and harvest grapes at the perfect moment to ensure optimal flavor, acidity, and sweetness. Red wines usually require more grapes than whites, as skins, seeds, and stems often contribute to the flavor and body. Wine lovers owe much of their enjoyment to these precious, labor-intensive grapes, which undergo a meticulous process of crushing, fermenting, aging, and bottling to create the perfect pour. Number 2. Fear of the number 13 is called triskaidekaphobia. Triskaidekaphobia is an irrational fear of the number 13, affecting millions of people worldwide. This superstition has deep cultural roots, with the number 13 being linked to bad luck in various traditions. Some believe its origins trace back to Norse mythology, where 13 guests at a banquet led to chaos and death. In Christianity, Judas, the apostle who betrayed Jesus, was the 13th guest at the Last Supper. The fear is so strong that some buildings skip the 13th floor, and airlines may omit the 13th row. People with triskaidekaphobia often experience anxiety when confronted with this supposedly cursed number. Number 3. Baby sea otters can't swim right away. Sea otter pups are born helpless and unable to swim. They rely entirely on their mothers for survival, who wrap them in kelp to keep them from drifting away while they hunt. Newborn otters have dense, fluffy fur that traps air, making them buoyant but incapable of diving. The mother spends weeks teaching her pup to swim and groom its fur, a skill crucial for insulation and waterproofing. Until they master swimming, baby otters float like little fluffy rafts, relying on their mother's care and protection. This early bonding period is vital for the pup's development and future independence in the wild. Number 4. There's a world record for the most world record titles. Ashrita Furman holds the Guinness World Record for the most world records set and broken. As of now, he has earned more than 600 titles throughout his life. His achievements include everything from holding the record for the most watermelons sliced on his stomach in 1 minute to climbing Mount Fuji on a pogo stick. Furman's passion began in 1979, inspired by a spiritual teacher who encouraged pushing the limits of human potential. Since then, he has dedicated his life to mastering an eclectic variety of feats, embodying the spirit of adventure, creativity, and sheer determination in his extraordinary record-breaking journey. Number 5. There's a word for animals with partial pigment loss. Animals with partial pigment loss are described as piebald. This term is commonly used in veterinary and biological contexts to refer to animals with unpigmented, white patches of fur, feathers, or skin. Piebaldism occurs when there is a lack of melanocytes, the cells responsible for pigment production. The genetic condition can appear in various species, including horses, birds, deer, and even humans. Unlike albinism, piebaldism does not affect the entire body. These striking patterns make piebald animals stand out in the wild, sometimes affecting their camouflage abilities, but often becoming a point of fascination for wildlife enthusiasts and photographers. Number 6. We're all stars. The phrase, "we're all made of stardust," is more than poetic, it's scientifically accurate. The elements that make up our bodies, like carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, and iron, were forged in the cores of stars through nuclear fusion. When massive stars died in supernova explosions, they scattered these elements across the cosmos, eventually forming new stars, planets, and living organisms. This means that every atom in our bodies has a cosmic origin, connecting us to the universe in a fundamental way. Our very existence is a testament to the life cycles of stars, making the universe feel a little more interconnected. Number 7. The largest sandcastle in the world measured 54 feet high. In 2021, a team of sculptors in Blokhus, Denmark, broke the world record for the tallest sandcastle, standing at an impressive 54 feet and 9 inches high. The massive structure required nearly 5,000 tons of sand, strengthened with a touch of clay and glue to withstand wind and rain. The intricate design featured various figures, towers, and patterns that amazed onlookers. This colossal sandcastle took weeks of meticulous planning and construction, involving sculptors from all over the world. It was built as a tribute to community and creativity, capturing the imagination of visitors and celebrating the timeless joy of sand art. Number 8. There are over 10 holidays that celebrate chocolate. Chocolate lovers have multiple reasons to celebrate, as more than 10 holidays worldwide are dedicated to this beloved treat. National Chocolate Day in the U.S. falls on October 28th, while International Chocolate Day is celebrated on September 13th, coinciding with the birthday of Milton S. Hershey. Other chocolate-themed holidays include World Chocolate Day on July 7th, National Chocolate-Covered Anything Day on December 16th, and National Milk Chocolate Day on July 28th. These celebrations pay tribute to chocolate's rich history, from ancient Mayan rituals to modern-day indulgence, recognizing its global impact as a comfort food and symbol of decadence. Number 9. Chocolate is kinda a fruit. Technically, chocolate comes from cacao beans, which are seeds found in the pods of the Theobroma cacao tree. These pods are classified as fruits, making chocolate a derivative of a fruit. Cacao trees grow in tropical regions, and each pod contains 20 to 50 cacao beans surrounded by a sweet, pulpy flesh. The beans are fermented, dried, roasted, and ground to produce chocolate. While the sugary processed chocolate we enjoy today is far removed from its natural state, pure cacao is packed with antioxidants and nutrients, giving chocolate its somewhat healthy reputation when consumed in its raw or dark form. Number 10. The way you eat Oreos says something about your personality. Psychologists and experts in body language have studied how people eat Oreos and concluded that it can reveal aspects of their personality. If you twist the cookie apart, you might be a curious, detail-oriented person who enjoys understanding how things work. If you dunk your Oreo in milk, you're likely to be adventurous and willing to break the rules. People who eat the entire cookie at once are often confident and efficient. While these observations are lighthearted and unscientific, they offer a fun way to reflect on our habits and share laughs with friends over a pack of everyone's favorite sandwich cookies. Number 11. The moon has its own time zones. Despite being a celestial body, the moon does have a form of timekeeping, which scientists have used to coordinate lunar missions. Lunar time zones differ from those on Earth due to the moon's unique day and night cycle, which lasts about 29.5 Earth days. NASA and other space agencies establish time for each mission using Coordinated Universal Time, UTC, as a baseline, but with adjustments based on the mission's landing site and duration. With growing interest in moon colonization and exploration, creating a standardized lunar time zone could become necessary, especially for long-term scientific research and potential human settlements. Number 12. A team of 6 women programmed the first digital computer. During World War II, a groundbreaking team of 6 women, known as the ENIAC programmers, was responsible for programming the first all-electronic digital computer, the ENIAC, Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. These brilliant women, Kay McNulty, Betty Jennings, Betty Snyder, Marlon Westkoff, Fran Bilas, and Ruth Lichterman, pioneered modern computer programming without any manuals or programming languages. They meticulously configured thousands of wires and switches to create algorithms for complex mathematical calculations used in military efforts. Despite their monumental contributions to computing history, their work went largely unrecognized for decades, and only recently have they received the credit they truly deserve. Number 13. Baby elephants suck their trunks for comfort. Much like human babies suck their thumbs, baby elephants suck their trunks to soothe themselves. This behavior helps them feel secure and is a sign of comfort and contentment. Sucking their trunks also aids in learning how to use this versatile appendage, which they will later rely on for drinking, eating, and social interactions. As they grow, young elephants use their trunks for all sorts of purposes, from splashing in water to communicating with their herd. This adorable behavior provides insight into the emotional and social lives of elephants, highlighting the strong family bonds and playful nature that make these creatures so endearing. Number 14. There's a 107-acre forest made up of a single tree. The pando, also known as the trembling giant, is a massive colony of quaking aspen trees in Utah. While it appears to be a forest, it is actually one organism connected by a single root system, making it one of the world's largest living organisms. This clonal colony spans over 107 acres and is estimated to be thousands of years old. The pando reproduces by sprouting new trees from its extensive roots, rather than through seed dispersal. Despite its resilience, this ancient wonder faces threats from climate change, disease, and human activity, prompting conservationists to work diligently to protect it. Number 15. Dr. Seuss wrote Green Eggs and Ham on a bet. The beloved children's book Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss came into existence because of a friendly wager. Publisher Bennett Cerf bet Seuss, whose real name was Theodore Geisel, that he couldn't write a book using only 50 unique words. Rising to the challenge, Seuss crafted the whimsical tale of Samus I Am and his relentless attempts to get a reluctant character to try an unusual meal. The book's simplicity and repetition helped make it a classic, ideal for early readers. Green Eggs and Ham went on to become one of Dr. Seuss's best-selling works, proving that even constraints can spark creativity. Number 16. You can ride a train through the Tunnel of Love. The Tunnel of Love, located near Klevan, Ukraine, is a romantic, tree-covered railway passage that looks like something out of a fairy tale. The lush greenery forms a natural, arching tunnel that stretches for about 3 to 5 kilometers along the train tracks. Couples and travelers visit this picturesque spot, which is particularly enchanting in spring and summer when the trees are in full bloom. Legend has it that if two lovers make a wish in the tunnel and their love is true, the wish will come true. The Tunnel of Love remains a popular destination for photo shoots and romantic strolls. Number 17. Fall leaf colors are present year-round. The vibrant reds, oranges, and yellows that decorate trees in autumn are actually present year-round, but are masked by the green pigment called chlorophyll. During the growing season, chlorophyll dominates, allowing trees to convert sunlight into energy through photosynthesis. As days grow shorter and temperatures drop in the fall, trees break down chlorophyll and reabsorb its nutrients. This reveals the underlying pigments, such as carotenoids, yellow and orange, and anthocyanins, red and purple. These hidden colors are finally displayed in a dazzling show before the leaves eventually fall, marking the seasonal change and delighting nature enthusiasts everywhere. Number 18. Germany has more castles than there are McDonald's in the United States. Germany boasts an impressive number of castles, approximately 25,000, while there are only around 13,000 McDonald's locations in the United States. These castles, ranging from medieval fortresses to Renaissance palaces, reflect the country's rich history and architectural diversity. Some, like Neuschwanstein Castle, attract millions of tourists annually with their fairy tale beauty, while others stand as mysterious ruins in picturesque landscapes. Many castles have been restored and transformed into museums, hotels, or event spaces, offering visitors a glimpse into the past. Germany's abundance of castles makes it a dream destination for history buffs, architecture enthusiasts, and anyone fascinated by tales of knights and royalty. Number 19. In Washington State, it's illegal to kill Bigfoot. In Washington State, there's a unique law that makes it illegal to kill Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or any other ape-like creature presumed to be roaming the wilderness. The law was first passed in Skamania County in 1969, imposing fines and potential jail time for harming the legendary cryptid. The ordinance was later amended to declare Skamania County a Sasquatch refuge, promoting conservation and respect for the myth. This quirky regulation reflects the Pacific Northwest's fascination with Bigfoot, a creature often associated with dense, misty forests. Whether real or imagined, the law underscores the region's cultural love for its famous, elusive inhabitant. Number 20. Sloths are slow in everything they do, including digestion. Sloths are known for their leisurely lifestyle, moving so slowly that algae often grow on their fur. Their slowness extends to their digestion, which can take up to a month to fully process a single meal of leaves. This slow metabolism is a survival strategy, as leaves provide little energy or nutrients. A sloth's digestive system produces minimal gas, meaning they rarely, if ever, pass gas traditionally. Instead, their intestines slowly absorb the gases, and they exhale them. This efficient system is crucial for their tree-dwelling lifestyle, as sudden movements or loud noises could attract predators, making discretion a sloth's best defense. Number 21. Cornflakes were invented to suppress sexual impulses. Dr. John Harvey Kellogg, the co-creator of cornflakes, developed the cereal as part of his mission to promote a bland diet that would supposedly curb sexual desires, specifically to combat the practice of masturbation. Kellogg, a staunch advocate of abstinence and purity, believed that simple, plain foods could help suppress carnal urges. In the late 19th century, he ran a sanitarium where he advocated for clean living, a vegetarian diet, and other eccentric practices. Cornflakes were initially served as a health food at his institution before becoming a household breakfast staple. Ironically, today's sugary cereals are far from his original vision. Number 22. Giraffes in the wild only sleep for around 5 minutes at a time. Giraffes have evolved to sleep very little, especially in the wild, where danger lurks around every corner. They typically rest for short periods, adding up to only about 30 minutes to 2 hours of sleep per day. Most of this sleep occurs in brief intervals lasting around 5 minutes, and they often remain standing to be ready to run from predators at a moment's notice. Lying down to sleep is a rare and vulnerable act, usually reserved for the safest situations. These majestic creatures have mastered the art of intermittent sleep, staying constantly alert and prepared for any threats in their environment. Number 23. Clownfish can change their sex. Clownfish are fascinating creatures with a unique ability. They can change their sex. Born male, clownfish live in hierarchical social groups led by a dominant female. If the female dies, the largest male in the group undergoes a sex change, transforming into the new female to maintain the group's reproductive order. This transformation is irreversible and involve significant physical and behavioral changes. The reproductive advantage of this adaptation ensures the survival of their species in the limited, competitive environments of coral reefs. This extraordinary capability showcases the diverse and sometimes surprising reproductive strategies found in the animal kingdom. Number 24. A grizzly bear's bite is strong enough to crush a bowling ball. Grizzly bears possess one of the most powerful bites in the animal kingdom, with a force of about 1,000 pounds per square inch, psi. This strength is enough to crush a bowling ball or snap large bones effortlessly. Their powerful jaws and sharp teeth are crucial for tearing through tough flesh, crushing bones to access marrow, and defending themselves from threats. Despite this intimidating power, grizzly bears are often misunderstood. They are typically shy and avoid human contact unless provoked or threatened. Encountering a grizzly in the wild is a reminder of their immense strength and the importance of respecting wildlife. Number 25. Lady Gaga once spent $50,000 on a ghost detector. Pop icon Lady Gaga reportedly shelled out $50,000 on a state-of-the-art electromagnetic field meter, a device used to detect paranormal activity. Known for her theatrical and eccentric persona, Gaga has a deep interest in the supernatural and believes in protecting herself from ghosts. She once claimed to be haunted by a spirit named Ryan, and the ghost detector became part of her tour essentials. While the idea of investing such a large sum in ghost hunting equipment might sound outrageous to some, it reflects her commitment to exploring the unknown and maintaining her unique, larger-than-life image that captivates fans worldwide. Number 26. Woodpeckers wrap their tongues around their brains to protect themselves. Woodpeckers have evolved an incredible adaptation to prevent brain damage while hammering away at trees. Their tongues are extraordinarily long and, when retracted, wrap around the back of their skull and brain. This unique anatomical feature provides a cushioning effect, reducing the impact of repeated pecking. Woodpeckers strike trees with tremendous force, up to 20 times per second, so this natural shock absorption is essential for survival. Additionally, their skulls are thick but spongy, and they have strong neck muscles to further minimize the damage. This combination of protective features enables woodpeckers to feed on insects and carve out nesting holes without harming themselves. Number 27. Male giraffes taste female urine to check for fertility. Male giraffes have an unusual way of determining if a female is ready to mate. They perform a phlegm response by tasting her urine. When a female urinates, the male will lick a sample and analyze the hormones within to assess if she is in estrus, the phase in which she is most fertile. This behavior, while strange to humans, is a practical reproductive strategy that ensures successful mating. Giraffes have highly developed senses, and this method helps males conserve energy by only pursuing females who are ready to conceive. It's an example of the fascinating reproductive rituals found in the animal kingdom. Number 28. The warty comb jellyfish has no anus. The warty comb jellyfish, a bizarre and primitive sea creature, lacks a permanent anus. Instead, its digestive process involves a temporary opening that forms when waste needs to be expelled. When the jellyfish has finished digesting, a hole forms in its body's outer layer, allowing waste to be released. Once excretion is complete, the hole closes, and the jellyfish's body structure returns to normal. This adaptation, known as transient defecation, is quite rare in the animal kingdom. Scientists study this process to better understand the evolution of digestive systems and how some marine organisms have developed efficient yet unconventional biological functions. Number 29. Living bones are wet and slightly flexible. Contrary to the dry, brittle bones seen in skeletons, living bones are surprisingly wet and flexible. Up to one-third of bone mass is made of water, with the rest consisting of collagen, a soft, elastic protein, and calcium phosphate, which provides strength. This composition allows bones to absorb pressure, bend slightly, and withstand stress without breaking easily. The flexibility of bones is crucial for movement, shock absorption, and injury prevention. Bones are also living tissues that constantly regenerate, with cells breaking down and rebuilding bone material throughout our lives. This dynamic process keeps our skeletal system strong, adaptable, and ready for action. Number 30, Achu syndrome causes sneezing when exposed to bright light. If you sneeze uncontrollably when suddenly exposed to bright light or intense sunlight, you might have inherited a genetic trait known as Achu syndrome, or photic sneeze reflex. Affecting about 10–35% of the population, this phenomenon occurs when overstimulated optic nerves trigger the sneeze reflex. Researchers believe that signals from the optic nerve overlap with those from the trigeminal nerve, which controls sneezing. While not harmful, the reflex can be inconvenient, especially for people who spend a lot of time outdoors. Achu syndrome is a curious reminder of the complex and often quirky ways our nervous system functions. Number 31, cannibalism is technically legal in the Netherlands. Surprisingly, there is no specific law in the Netherlands that makes cannibalism illegal. While obtaining human flesh or body parts through legal means is nearly impossible, as murder, body desecration, and illegal organ trading are all crimes, the act of consuming human flesh itself isn't explicitly forbidden. This legal loophole has fueled debates about ethics and legality, though actual instances of cannibalism are exceedingly rare. The concept challenges society's understanding of law and morality, sparking philosophical questions about what is permissible if no specific law is being violated, even in a society that otherwise upholds respect for human life and dignity. Number 32, the short-horned lizard squirts blood from its eyes. The short-horned lizard has a bizarre yet effective defense mechanism. It squirts blood from its eyes. When threatened by predators, the lizard's ocular sinuses fill with blood, creating pressure that forces blood to spurt out in a stream up to 3 feet away. The blood contains chemicals that taste foul to canine predators, like coyotes and wolves, deterring them from further attacks. This tactic confuses and repels predators long enough for the lizard to escape. While effective, the lizard only resorts to this defense in extreme cases. The unique adaptation demonstrates the lengths to which some creatures will go to ensure survival. Number 33. Frogs use their eyes to help swallow food. When frogs eat, they use their eyes in a fascinating way to aid in swallowing. As a frog swallows, its eyes sink into its skull, pressing against the roof of its mouth to help push food down its throat. This motion forces food into the esophagus, allowing frogs to gulp down prey much larger than one might expect. The eye-popping action is necessary because frogs lack the complex chewing mechanisms found in mammals. Their sticky tongues and eye-assisted swallowing system enable them to devour insects and small animals whole, showcasing the ingenuity of nature in developing efficient, if unusual, feeding methods. Number 34. Human brains are constantly eating themselves. Our brains engage in a process called phagocytosis, where cells eat other cells or waste material. This is part of the brain's continuous cleaning and maintenance routine. Microglia, the brain's immune cells, remove damaged neurons and unnecessary synapses to maintain healthy brain function. During sleep, this cleanup process becomes more active as our brains reorganize and eliminate waste accumulated throughout the day. However, chronic sleep deprivation can lead to excessive pruning, potentially causing damage over time. This fascinating yet unsettling process highlights the importance of sleep for mental health, and underscores how the brain manages its resources to stay efficient. Number 35, ants don't have lungs. Ants, despite being highly efficient creatures, do not have lungs. Instead, they breathe through tiny holes called spiracles located along the sides of their bodies. These spiracles are connected to a network of tubes, known as trachea, which deliver oxygen directly to their tissues and organs. Carbon dioxide, the waste product of respiration, is expelled through the same network. This simple yet effective respiratory system supports their active lifestyle, enabling ants to perform tasks like carrying food many times their body weight. The absence of lungs allows ants to remain small and lightweight, perfectly adapted to their environment and communal way of life. Number 36. Before toilet paper, corn cobs were used as a method of wiping. Long before the invention of modern toilet paper, people used a variety of natural items to maintain hygiene, with corn cobs being a common choice in rural America. Corn cobs were plentiful, inexpensive, and surprisingly effective at cleaning. They could be reused several times before being discarded, making them a practical solution for early settlers. Other materials used throughout history included leaves, moss, wool, and even stones. In some cultures, seashells or sponges on sticks were employed. The development of commercial toilet paper in the 19th century revolutionized bathroom habits, but the humble corn cob remains a quirky part of hygiene history. Number 37. Human tongues have unique tongue prints. Just like fingerprints, human tongues have unique patterns that could, in theory, be used for identification. The tongue surface is covered with distinct ridges, bumps, and grooves, making each one different from another. These patterns remain consistent throughout a person's life, as they are genetically determined. Researchers have explored the idea of using tongue prints for biometric security, as they are nearly impossible to forge and could be more reliable than fingerprints. However, practical applications have yet to be widely implemented. Number 38. The Atlantic Ocean is the saltiest of the 5 ocean basins. Among the world's 5 major oceans, the Atlantic Ocean holds the title of saltiest. Its high salinity is due to various factors, including evaporation rates, river runoff, and ocean currents. The tropical and subtropical regions experience significant evaporation, which leaves behind higher concentrations of salt. Meanwhile, the Amazon, Congo, and other large rivers flow into the Atlantic, adding both fresh water and minerals that contribute to the salinity balance. These conditions create a unique marine ecosystem where only certain species thrive. Understanding the Atlantic's salt content is crucial for studying climate patterns and the global movement of water in ocean currents. Number 39. The fastest moving muscle in the human body is in the eye. The orbicularis oculi muscle, responsible for closing the eyelids, is the fastest moving muscle in the human body. We use this muscle to blink, an involuntary reflex that protects the eyes from debris and keeps them lubricated. On average, we blink about 15 to 20 times per minute, with each blink taking only 150 milliseconds. This rapid action is essential for eye health, as it spreads tears evenly over the surface and removes irritants. The speed of this muscle also plays a role in nonverbal communication, as blinking can convey emotions or signal attention. Our eyes truly are remarkable organs, both in function and expression. Number 40. The Olympic rings were first produced in 1913. The iconic Olympic rings were designed by Pierre de Coubertin, the founder of the modern Olympic Games, in 1913. The rings symbolize unity among the continents and represent the coming together of athletes from around the world. Each ring is a different color: blue, yellow, black, green, and red, set against a white background. These colors were chosen because at least one of them appears on every national flag, emphasizing the universality of the Olympic movement. The rings have since become one of the most recognizable symbols in sports, representing not only athletic excellence, but also the hope for global peace and cooperation. Number 41, a French king believed he was made of glass. King Charles VI of France, who reigned from 1380 to 1422, suffered from a psychiatric disorder known as glass delusion. He believed that his body was made of fragile glass and feared shattering if touched. The king took extreme precautions, such as wearing reinforced clothing and avoiding physical contact. Historians believe that his condition was exacerbated by the stress of ruling and the tumultuous events of the Hundred Years' War. Glass delusion was a peculiar psychological phenomenon reported in medieval Europe, reflecting the anxieties of the era. Today, it serves as an example of how cultural context can influence mental health disorders. Number 42, beer was banned in Iceland until 1989. For most of the 20th century, Iceland prohibited beer. The ban, which lasted from 1915 to 1989, was part of a larger movement against alcohol consumption, initially covering all alcoholic beverages. While wine and spirits were eventually legalized, beer remained outlawed due to concerns about promoting binge drinking and its potential impact on society. The lifting of the ban on March 1, 1989, is now celebrated annually as Beer Day, with festivities that include pub crawls and beer tastings. Today, Iceland's beer culture is thriving, with microbreweries and craft beers gaining popularity among locals and visitors eager to sample the country's unique brews. Number 43, the term honeymoon, comes from the Middle Ages. The term honeymoon has origins dating back to the Middle Ages. Newly married couples were often gifted a month's supply of mead, a honey-based alcoholic drink, to ensure fertility and happiness in their marriage. This honey month was meant to bring sweetness and prosperity to the union. The word eventually evolved into honeymoon, referring to the initial period of wedded bliss. While the tradition of drinking honey wine has mostly faded, the concept of a honeymoon remains, now associated with romantic vacations taken by couples after their wedding. The term serves as a reminder of ancient customs and the symbolic importance of honey. Number 44, Illinois is the pumpkin capital of the United States. Illinois proudly holds the title of the pumpkin capital of the United States, producing more pumpkins than any other state. The city of Morton, Illinois, is home to the largest pumpkin processing plant in the world, operated by Libby's, which processes over 80% of the world's canned pumpkin. Every fall, the town hosts the Morton Pumpkin Festival, celebrating the harvest with pumpkin-themed events and foods. Illinois' rich soil and ideal growing conditions make it perfect for pumpkin farming, contributing to the state's agricultural success. From pies to lattes, pumpkins are a cherished autumn symbol, and Illinois is at the heart of it all. Number 45, a housefly's feet are 10 million times more sensitive than a human tongue. Houseflies have incredibly sensitive feet, covered in taste receptors that are approximately 10 million times more sensitive than the human tongue. These receptors allow flies to taste whatever they land on, which is crucial for locating food. When a fly touches a surface, it immediately detects the presence of sugars, salts, or other substances that might be edible. This sensitivity helps them determine if a surface is suitable for feeding or laying eggs. Houseflies are also equipped with specialized structures called pulvilli, which enable them to stick to various surfaces. Despite their status as a nuisance, their sensory adaptations are remarkably sophisticated. Number 46. California experiences over 100,000 earthquakes a year. California is one of the most seismically active regions in the world, experiencing over 100,000 earthquakes annually. Most of these quakes are minor, registering below 3.0 on the Richter scale and often going unnoticed by residents. The state's position along the Pacific Ring of Fire, where several tectonic plates meet, is responsible for this frequent seismic activity. The San Andreas Fault, in particular, is a major source of earthquakes, running nearly the entire length of the state. While Californians are accustomed to the occasional tremor, experts continue to study the region's geology to better predict and prepare for potential major earthquakes. Number 47, owls sometimes swallow their food whole. Owls are skilled nocturnal hunters, and their unique digestive system allows them to swallow small prey whole. Their powerful talons and sharp beaks make catching prey easy, but instead of chewing, owls ingest their prey in one gulp. The food then moves to the gizzard, where indigestible parts like bones, fur, and feathers are compacted into a pellet. Hours later, the owl regurgitates this pellet, leaving behind a perfectly formed package of waste. This digestive process enables owls to extract nutrients efficiently while disposing of non-nutritious material. Owl pellets provide a fascinating window into their diet and are often studied by scientists and students. Number 48, Walt Disney banned chewing gum from Disneyland to keep the park clean. Walt Disney famously made the decision not to sell chewing gum at Disneyland to maintain the cleanliness of his theme park. He wanted visitors to experience a magical, pristine environment free from the mess and inconvenience caused by discarded gum. By banning the sale of gum, Disney ensured that sticky residues wouldn't mar park attractions, sidewalks, or benches. This policy continues today, contributing to Disneyland's reputation as one of the cleanest theme parks in the world. Guests are welcome to bring their own gum, but the ban serves as a simple yet effective strategy to keep the happiest place on Earth clean and welcoming. Number 49, locusts are just grasshoppers that have undergone a transformation. Locusts and grasshoppers are the same species, but locusts undergo a remarkable transformation when exposed to certain environmental conditions. When large numbers of grasshoppers are forced into close quarters, such as during droughts followed by heavy rains, physical and behavioral changes occur. They become more social, develop stronger muscles, and change color, transforming into swarming locusts. This process can be triggered artificially by stroking their hind legs, which releases serotonin and initiates the change. The resulting swarms can devastate crops, causing significant agricultural damage. The locust's ability to shift from solitary to gregarious highlights the dramatic impact of environmental stress on behavior. Number 50, spider legs operate on a hydraulic system. Spider legs move through a unique hydraulic system that relies on the flow of hemolymph, their version of blood. When a spider wants to extend its legs, it increases hemolymph pressure, allowing the legs to move outward. This is why spiders' legs curl inward when they die. The hydraulic pressure drops, and the muscles relax. Unlike most animals, spiders use minimal muscle power for limb extension, relying instead on this efficient hydraulic mechanism. This system enables them to move swiftly and precisely, crucial for hunting and web building. It's a fascinating example of how evolution has engineered unique solutions for movement in the animal world.